Hey everyone, welcome to a new video. First of all, sorry for not uploading for a long time. My goal for the new year was to upload every day, but I was extremely sick, and I'm still kind of sick. You can kind of hear it in my voice, but I'm trying to get better, and I really just want to get back to uploading. So it's been a long time for sure. I know like the last few months of last year, maybe like the last 4 to 5 months, I was barely uploading. We're talking, 1 to 4 to 5 videos a month, which is definitely not what I'm used to. I remember back in the day when I was uploading 60 designs a day for Redbubble each and every day, I was actually doing 2 uploads a day on YouTube, and that was just all on this channel, which was a lot. So please don't hold it against me. I've been, like I said, sick, trying to, get it back into this, and I feel like I have enough energy to make a video today. With that being said, some new updates. I will be changing kind of the look and feel of the website slowly with time. Speaking of the website, if you look over here, go to our website, autopilotpassiveincome.com. You can sign up for the free email newsletter. Just type in your email, hit join as a member, go through that kind of whole flow, and you'll be signed up, and I'll be sending out emails over time, different things, different notifications. Like, for example, when I was telling people, hey, I'm sick, that's why I'm not uploading, I let you guys know through the videos. One of the things that I want to say is that I'm going to be uploading content around more passive income related stuff, not just simply print on demand, not just stock photography type businesses, but more passive income related stuff, different strategies. I think I'm going to take some new tactics for this year and talk about more, all kinds of different passive income stuff, not just those 2 main categories. Speaking of categories, today's video is on Etsy. I lost maybe like over 4,000, easily over 4,000, not maybe, but just in sales alone, over 4K, probably like 4,300 something, and probably around, if you double that, I haven't done the math yet, but somewhere around there, and I'll tell you why I lost so much money this year, or this quarter on Etsy, the Q4. Everything was going fine for me on Etsy, and this is kind of the topic of today's video. Everything was perfectly fine, Last year, not 2024, but 2023, I was purely just doing digital products. Everything was perfectly fine. I was generating about $3,000 to $4,000 a month on Etsy profit. This is after sales. Once again, everything was perfectly fine. I had the bright idea of saying, hey, why don't I jump into the physical product world? And once again, everything was going typical, fine. The reviews started coming in. Things were going perfectly fine. What happened was I was using a manufacturer, and it wasn't Printful or Printify or any of the common well-known ones that everybody knows about. I was using a manufacturer. I don't want to say their name. Honestly, I should say their name just to, kind of... I'm not going to bring them too much hate. Whatever. I'm not going to say their name. But, excuse me. Once again, still sick. But basically, somewhere around Q4, like maybe a month and a half in, I found out, or I kind of noticed, that the shipping system changed. They used a different shipping manufacturer. I thought that was interesting, but I just didn't pay too much attention to it. And what I noticed was, a month later, this is like literally a couple weeks before the year is over, probably like 2 weeks, 3-4 weeks, maybe even 4 weeks before the year was over, the shipping took a lot longer, and it was a different type of tracking number. Now, the reason why I didn't really pay attention is, as you guys know, I have virtual assistants that help me on these kind of things, where, if they're responsible for example, handling the Etsy, they'll take tracking numbers when from the website, and they'll make sure that they're being sent over to Etsy, like everything's integrated, everything's fine. The only problem is that this manufacturer, like I said, changed up the manufacturing. I don't know if they changed up the manufacturing, but they definitely changed the shipping. Their shipping system is not the same. we used to use something called Yoon Express. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it. I think the tracking number starts with like a YT and then a bunch of numbers, but they switched it to something called SDH. And my God, is it terrible. Not only is it longer, a lot longer, we're talking probably like 3 weeks longer, but it threw a whole wrench in my system because normally if somebody would order from me on Etsy, it would take about 3 weeks, no more than 3 weeks, for the customer to get their product. They're getting it technically from China. And, the products would be completely custom. Then, like I said, things kind of changed over time without me really having my finger on it. But really, even if I did find out about it, I still was going to process the orders, and I really didn't know, or I wasn't fully aware of how bad the shipping system could be. More importantly, what makes it worse is if you look on Etsy, when you add a tracking number, there are like a whole bunch of companies that you can add tracking numbers for. USPS, UPS, just a whole bunch, right? But SDH tracking doesn't exist on Etsy. Even if you click on the button that says Other, right, for shipping, even if you click on that, it doesn't actually track it. So, Etsy didn't have any kind of integration with that kind of tracking number. So not everybody, but a lot of customers, the overwhelming majority, thought they were being scammed or thought they were being robbed because, number one, there was no tracking on Etsy side. Number two, they weren't going to search what an SDH tracking number was. And number three, more importantly, the shipping was taking much longer than usual. So they get that shipping notification from Etsy by the time it should be, delivered. And they'll say, oh, your order should be soon or here or whatever. And they didn't find it. So, of course, there are customers that message me. I tried to communicate with them, this and that. Tell them, wait a little bit. Sorry, shipping takes a while, all this. But mind you, like I said, the order was taking like 3 weeks longer than normal because of the completely different shipping strategy, I guess you can say. By the time that the product came to the customer, right, most customers didn't believe me. They thought they were being scammed, didn't get any products. So by the time it actually arrived to them, Etsy had already given them a refund. I tried to prolong it as much as I can. Some customers didn't file cases, some did. But out of all the customers that did, I think, I didn't fully add it all up, the damages yet. But on the Etsy side, lost about over $3,000 to $4,000. I think like $4,300 to be honest with you, because if you add in the Etsy fees, the transaction fees, the taxes, and then on top of that, you give them a refund for everything that they paid for. Not to mention, I have to also pay for the price of the actual products that are being shipped to the customer. So to put things into consideration, imagine I'm shipping a hoodie, for example, for a customer. Let's say that hoodie cost me $29 to ship and be delivered to the customer, okay? I have to refund the cost of the product, which, is the entire cost. Plus, I also have to refund the fees that coming out of the Etsy cost. So, for example, when the customer pays for the hoodie, let's just say they pay $45. Out of that $45, Etsy takes a cut, right? Taxes, whatever. There's certain cuts that are taken out of that $45. It's not like I'm getting the whole $45. Then once I get the rest of that money, with that rest of the money, whatever that number is, I have paid the $29 for the hoodie. So not only am I refunding the customer, plus the fees, plus everything along with it, I'm also losing the money that it cost for the product and the shipping cost for the product to get to the customer. So I'm losing on both ends, right? I'm not making money from the customer, and I'm also losing money for the production of the product. Honestly, I wanted to go with this Chinese manufacturer because I wanted to save money. I wanted to, kind of also have different products. It wasn't just about saving money, but I wanted to create different products that typically didn't exist as much on Etsy, which to me, I kind of starting to realize, not starting, but definitely have realized at this point that there's really no shortcuts. And I think I might be interested in doing things like buying physical products and buying machinery and setting up like a mini warehouse or something and get people to like create the products. I might get into that. Who knows? We'll see. Etsy, like I said, it was doing pretty good for me. It wasn't something that was overwhelmingly large in terms of my income, but it was pretty decent. I mean, I don't think like making like $4 or $5 grand a month or $3 to $4 grand a month on a normal month, not on a Q4 month, but on a normal month, is anything to really laugh at. I mean, it's not bad numbers, especially because I didn't dedicate, like, it's not my sole focus. Etsy is not even like a fraction of my focus. It's a very, very, very small fraction. Once I list the product, I pretty much forget it until the customer orders. And even then, I probably have somebody to handle the fulfillment, whether it be ordering the product online or whatever the case may be. There are some issues. I've learned from those issues, but I lost I don't want to say a tremendous amount of money, but I lost a lot of money. For somebody who's used to generating profit on these kind of sites, losing that much money kind of hurt my stomach, I'll be honest. And it really wasn't so much about the money, but it was about the interaction that I had with the customers, because I was handling all the customer service kind of side, and I was trying to communicate with these customers and just trying to get them to believe me that, hey, look, your product's coming, here's the tracking. I know Etsy doesn't, track or isn't compatible with this kind of tracking, but like I said, people kind of didn't believe me, and that's perfectly fine. I understand why. Trust me, I can't blame them. Honestly, I can't even blame myself. Obviously, people in most considerations would probably say, oh, yeah, it's my fault, but really it isn't. The manufacturer just switched overnight with no warning, no information, and even if they gave me a warning, like, who knows if I would have listened or not? Probably not, because I had already had a full system kind of going and generating profits on Etsy at this point. So I'm going to take things into a new direction for Etsy in the future. I don't really know how I'm going to take it. Maybe I know Printful and Printify are merging. I think Printify is better. I'm not sure. They seem like a little bit cleaner on their website and things like that. So who knows? I might get into that. Keep in mind, I'm servicing mostly people in the United States. At least I don't think I've ever serviced anybody outside of the United States, sending products to them. So I shouldn't have any issues there. But I also am interested in looking into generating actual physical products, creating like a little mini warehouse, creating products. But if I do that, then I would have to have a lot more focus on Etsy. I do kind of like the whole passive world of income, where basically the less work I do, the better. But that would take a lot of energy. There are benefits. It would be a tax deduction if I did get like a little mini warehouse. Nothing huge, but manufacturing. I don't know how much things would cost. I know like a DTG printer would cost like 16 grand or like brand new, but obviously I wouldn't buy something like that in the beginning because I need proof of concept, I need profits, I need things like that. And I usually like to start small on businesses. So who really knows? I don't know where things are going to go. I don't know how things are going to happen. But I'm just kind of telling you about my story. I don't know if there's even a lesson to be learned here other than probably just go with what everyone else is going with, and you should be perfectly fine in terms of manufacturing. But like I said, part of the reason why I didn't go with a Printful or a Printify in the very beginning is because I wanted to create different products that don't exist as much on Etsy. And I'll just be honest, I was creating certain kinds of products on Etsy that really didn't exist as much. For example, hooded blankets. Now, there are a few on Etsy, people making them, but I was offering them at a lot cheaper price. And it was a unique product. There wasn't a lot of people selling that. So when I created a certain design on a hooded blanket, it would be a little bit more unique and people were more inclined to buy it. And that was just one of the many products. So I'm not sure where I'm going to take things, like I said, but this is kind of my little story. I'm just sharing it. I know some of the videos that you guys see, me making tutorials of me making money online or trying different strategies, and you guys see what works a lot of the times, but you definitely don't see the failures, and this is a huge failure. I know most people, if they had a failure like this in the beginning of their Etsy journey, they might never try to make money online ever again because of the issues that they encountered with, especially if it's their first time making money online and they have a huge loss like that. It's a pretty big deal. But the reality is I know how this online stuff goes. You know, you have success, you have failures, you have profits, you have costs, liabilities rather. And in this case, that small change that company did, that Chinese company or Vietnamese or God only knows what it is, but that company, that small change, like I said, we're working perfectly fine the entire year. You know, the entire year that I was doing the physical product, perfectly fine. Somewhere down the line in Q4, probably like a month and a half in, things started to change. You know, and like I said, I noticed the change because of the different tracking numbers and things like that, but I didn't really know how bad it was going to be until I got into the situation. By then, it was already too late. There was nothing I could have done. So, you know, it is what it is. I could easily go to a different manufacturer, but the type of prints that I was doing, the type of designs that I was doing, I don't think the other manufacturer would kind of approve them or print them. So, you know, for me, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what, you know, way I'm going to take this. Who knows? I might just kind of stick with only digital products. We'll see. I really don't know. But that's kind of my Etsy story, how I lost over, you know, 4K, 3K, whatever number it was, basically multiple thousands of dollars, and that's without counting the cost of the actual product that is being essentially sent for free to customers. So I still have to count that up. So God only knows how much, you know, my total loss is. It could be $8,000, it could be $7,000, it could be, I doubt 5 or 6, probably in the 7 to 8 category, but hey, it's part of business, I guess. So I figured I'd share the story. It's really not that big of a deal. You know, anything can be made back again except for time wasted. So I'm not too worried about the money. I'll make the money back. It's not a big deal. But this is my Etsy story. So hopefully you guys enjoyed or listened or helped in some sort of way. And maybe if you're thinking about going with some, you know, weird Chinese drop shipping, print on demand kind of thing, maybe it'll make you think twice and go with something that's a little bit more tried and true. Who knows? So hopefully this helps you out. Definitely, this is my experience. So, hey, I'm just sharing it. Thank you guys for watching. And hopefully I can get back here making more videos. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Peace out. Bye.